So this submitted article covers McDonald's nationwide rollout of their new Red Bull Dragonberry Energizer, which is their first real jump into energy drinks to boost some of these slower sales numbers we've seen.
Right. But while the facts are solid, it reads a bit too much like a standard corporate wire report. So today we're going to focus on giving this draft a sharper edge to really engage its pop culture audience.
Exactly. I mean, delivering factual accuracy is, it's merely the baseline when you're writing for a targeted platform.
Yeah, the true challenge lies in actually understanding the readers sitting on the other side of the screen.
Right. And so a key theme running through this material seems to be the literal mechanics of the launch.
Yes.
The writer spends paragraphs detailing the release date, the available flavors, the specific, 8.4-ounce can dimensions.
Which is all good information, but...
But the issue is where this piece is actually being published.
Right.
The source material is destined for Dresd, which is a Clownfish TV affiliate, and their bio explicitly states they cater to gamers, tech enthusiasts, and pop culture fans.
Okay, yeah.
So the text completely misses the obvious cultural connection between those specific gaming demographics and, the consumption of energy drinks.
Right, because energy drinks and gaming, they operate in tandem.
Completely.
They function as the essential fuel for, late-night raids, extended coding sessions, marathon Twitch streams.
Oh, yeah.
So the weakness here is that the draft delivers the news neutrally. It completely ignores its own platform's established identity.
Yeah, it's like, I was thinking about this. Serving raw corporate statistics to a gaming audience, it's like giving them the source code of a video game instead of letting them play it.
Oh, that's a good way to...
Right? Like you are handing them all the underlying data, the dates, the ingredients, the locations.
Yeah.
But you have completely stripped away the user experience, the immersion, and the specific flavor they showed up for.
Exactly.
It's like serving a plain vanilla cone to someone who specifically came in for, the new vanilla swirl cold foam.
Right.
It just completely misses the targeted flavor the audience actually wants. They're invested in screen time culture, and this draft just hands them a sterile inventory sheet.
Yeah, it reads like it's meant for an investor relations portal, not a vibrant community.
Yeah.
So to make this immediately actionable, let's look at some concrete examples of how to rewrite this.
Okay, yeah, let's get into it.
The suggestion here is to frame this launch directly through the lens of the target audience's lifestyle. The writer needs to lean aggressively into the publication's identity as, an opinionated entertainment news site.
Right. They need to shed that posture of being just a neutral aggregator of McDonald's press releases.
Exactly. So the writer could insert a dedicated paragraph exploring how this specific menu edition physically targets the late-night esports crowd.
Oh, I like that.
Think about the logistics of maintaining a flow state during a gaming session.
Oh, man, yeah.
When a player runs out of caffeine at 1 a.m., the traditional solution is highly disruptive.
Oh, it's the worst.
Right? It requires pausing the game, changing out of your comfortable clothes.
Putting on actual shoes.
Exactly. Putting on shoes, driving to a brightly lit convenience store, walking the aisles, and, interacting with a cashier.
Which completely fractures their concentration and pulls them right out of the digital environment they're trying to stay immersed in.
Exactly. But framing the availability of a Red Bull drink at a drive-thru changes that dynamic entirely.
Because you don't even have to get out of the car.
Right. Choosing McDonald's over a traditional convenience store run removes all that friction.
Yeah.
A gamer can stay in their sweatpants, remain in the isolation of their car, hit the drive-thru, grab some fries alongside their Dragonberry Energizer, and return to their setup with minimal disruption.
Just right back to the game.
Right. It is a genuine lifestyle shift for this specific demographic. It optimizes their routine.
That's such a better angle. Transforming the angle from, McDonald's is selling a new beverage to here is how this structural change in fast food affects your Friday night gaming routine.
Yes.
It bridges that gap between a corporate announcement and the reader's lived experience. It just makes the journalism bespoke to Dreads.
Right. Because, is there a risk that focusing solely on the corporate press release facts might overlook the actual cultural relevance this has for Clownfish TV's readership?
Oh, absolutely.
Playing it safe by sticking strictly to the sterilized quotes provided by, Alyssa Butikofer and the PR team leaves the most compelling part of the narrative completely untouched.
Right.
The audience expects a translation of corporate actions into community impact.
Yeah, they want to know what it means for them.
And connecting this lifestyle shift back to the corporate strategy reveals a deeper narrative gap here.
Okay, how so?
Well, because leveraging 13,500 drive-thrus to change how gamers buy caffeine, it isn't just a menu update.
No.
It's an aggressive market invasion.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So highlighting the friction between McDonald's recent financial struggles and this high-margin beverage pivot transforms dry business context into a compelling strategic drama.
Yes, the mechanics of the business world are inherently dramatic when you examine the actual stakes involved.
Right.
The weakness in this current draft is buried in the section titled, Why McDonald's is Doing This Now.
Right, yeah, I have that section pulled up.
The text lists slower than expected Q2 sales and a failed value deal push as, passive background information.
Yeah, it reads like a historical footnote.
Exact. Treating these financial pressures passively drains the momentum from what is, in reality, a panicked corporate scramble to regain lost ground through a massive pivot.
I can see what you're going for here. Let's see how we can strengthen this. But I do want to push back on this idea just for a second.
Okay, sure.
Because the site's bio explicitly mandates that the reporting remains, quote, balanced and based.
Right.
So if we start injecting strategic drama into the text, like painting this as a desperate corporate scramble, do we run the risk of betraying that editorial mandate? Like, does dramatizing the business angle compromise their objective journalistic standing?
Well, objectivity and dramatic tension frequently coexist when the objective reality is itself tense.
Okay, fair point.
Right? Being balanced does not require being boring.
That is very true.
The quantifiable truth of the situation is that a fast food giant missed its quarterly targets. Its core value proposition failed to resonate.
Yeah.
And its immediate response is to aggressively enter a highly lucrative, entirely different market sector.
Right. They're moving onto someone else's turf.
Exactly. The suggestion for improvement here is to recast the introduction of this drink. The draft currently calls it a logical response.
Right.
The writer should really reframe it as a high-stakes, aggressive counteroffense into a market previously dominated by grocery chains and convenience stores.
Yeah. We aren't inventing the drama, we are just accurately explaining the sheer scale of the disruption here.
Building on that point, what if we looked at it from the perspective of convenience store executives?
Oh, they must be terrified.
Think about a regional manager for a chain of gas stations. They rely heavily on inside foot traffic.
Right.
The margins on gasoline are razor thin, meaning they depend almost entirely on selling high-margin items like sodas and energy drinks just to remain profitable.
Yeah, that's where they actually make their money.
Overnight, a global fast food chain weaponizes its U.S. locations to sell the exact product that drives convenience store profit margin.
It's massive.
It represents a terrifying tectonic shift in the retail landscape. Capturing that objective reality provides the exact kind of based reporting the site strives for.
Yeah. And to give the listener some concrete examples for improvement on this, we can look at the quote provided in the text from Chief Marketing Officer Alyssa Butikofer.
Oh, the one at the end of the section?
Yeah, where she states, and we're just getting started.
Right.
The current draft presents that as this polite, generic corporate sign-off. But with this new understanding of the retail landscape, the writer could reframe that exact quote as a literal declaration of a beverage war.
Oh, absolutely. Repositioning that quote shifts it from PR fluff to a warning shot across the bow of every 7-Eleven and Circle K in the country.
Yeah.
It demonstrates real intent.
10, the writer already has the critical data point in the text. The roughly 13,500 U.S. locations.
Right.
But it currently just sits at the very end of a paragraph as an afterthought.
Yeah, they need to bring that forward.
Bring it forward. Use it to illustrate the logistical magnitude of this offensive strategy. McDonald's isn't running a pilot program in a few test markets here.
No.
They are utilizing their massive geographical footprint to instantly carve out a dominant share of the reliably growing energy drink sector.
Yes, explaining the business strategy with that kind of dynamic energy, that keeps the reader invested.
Completely. A gamer reading this site might gloss over a sentence about Q2 sales growth in a vacuum.
Oh yeah, they'd skip right past it.
But detailing a massive corporate counteroffensive that fundamentally alters where and how everyone buys their caffeine, that taps directly into their interests.
Right, it makes it relevant. But weaponizing 13,500 drive-thrus in a beverage war creates a massive liability for our family brand.
Oh, for sure.
Because you can't aggressively push an extreme sports stimulant without tripping over pediatric health guidelines, which brings us to the caffeine question.
Yes.
Expanding on the inherent tension between a family-friendly restaurant brand and the controversial nature of energy drinks adds some necessary critical depth here.
This is where the critique moves from simply engaging the audience to actively challenging the subject matter.
Right.
The weakness is really evident in the section titled The Caffeine Question. The writer successfully outlines the underlying data.
The 80 milligrams?
Right. The drink contains 80 milligrams of caffeine. The FDA imposes a 400 milligram daily limit, and pediatric associations raise severe concerns regarding children consuming energy.
Right. They lay all those facts out.
They do. However, the writer pulls their punches at the conclusion.
Yeah.
They state the facts but leave the friction between the bright, fun branding and the serious medical advice entirely underexplored.
Well, wait. I'm a bit confused by the numbers here.
Okay.
If McDonald's is going after the late-night gamer demographic as we just discussed, why would they deliberately water this down to 80 milligrams?
Right.
I mean, a standard can of Prime or Bang has upwards of 200 milligrams. Wouldn't the hardcore energy drink demographic just view this 80 milligram product as incredibly weak and stick to their convenience store runs anyway?
That apparent contradiction is exactly what the writer needs to investigate.
Oh, I see.
The suggestion for improvement here is to sharpen the analysis of how McDonald's is actively navigating this specific PR minefield through the literal formulation of the drink.
Okay, yeah.
Calibrating the dosage to 80 milligrams, it's a calculated, reverse-engineered compromise.
Right, because it's not arbitrary.
Not at all. A standard cup of coffee averages around 95 milligrams.
Yeah.
By keeping the Dragonberry Energizer at 80, McDonald's establishes plausible deniability.
Discussing the flavor profile to see how that deniability is packaged.
Yeah.
The text notes that the Dragonberry Energizer combines Red Bull with blue raspberry syrup and freeze-dried dragon fruit.
Which sounds delicious, honestly.
Right, but as a concrete example of how to improve this section, the writer should explicitly contrast that highly kid-friendly aesthetic directly against those pediatric warnings.
Oh, definitely.
It operates almost exactly like a Trojan horse.
Yeah.
Smuggling a controversial, adult-oriented extreme sports brand into a heavily family-centric environment requires camouflage.
Exactly.
They wrap it in a brightly colored, low-dose fruit aesthetic. It visually presents as a harmless, sugary slushie designed for a child.
Right.
But it carries the branding and chemical profile of a stimulant.
Yes.
So the 80 milligram limit serves to bypass parental vetoes.
How so?
Well, think about it. A teenager wants the edgy Red Bull brand. The parent looks at the nutritional info and thinks, well, it has less caffeine than my morning iced coffee, so I'll allow it.
Oh, wow.
It prevents a full-scale parental boycott while keeping the products on the menu.
That's fascinating. What are the potential limitations or counterarguments to that idea, though?
Well,
Because the writer needs to explore the flip side of that exact compromise.
right. By watering it down to 80 milligrams, which is, well below even a standard 8.4-ounce can of regular Red Bull,
Yeah,
do they risk alienating the core demographic they are trying to capture?
that's the big question. Exploring whether the product is ultimately too weak for the hardcore energy drink fan, yet still too controversial for the cautious parent, introduces incredibly rich, critical depth to the article.
It elevates a simple list of ingredients and FDA guidelines into a sharp commentary on corporate product formulation and brand management.
Exactly.
It demands the reader look past the bright blue syrup and observe the calculated corporate machinery operating underneath.
Right. And integrating this deeper analysis does not sacrifice the factual grounding of the piece.
No, not at all.
Every point discussed relies entirely on the data already present in the source material.
The flavors, the milligrams, the FDA guidelines, the pediatric concerns.
Exact. The writer simply needs to connect those isolated data points more forcefully.
Yeah.
They need to refuse to shy away from the friction those facts create when placed right next to each other.
I love that. So, to quickly recap the actionable steps for this critique.
Yeah, let's summarize.
First, align the narrative directly with the platform's gamer and pop culture audience by explaining the physical logistics and lifestyle shift of choosing a drive-thru over a disruptive convenience store run.
Yeah.
Second, dramatize the business pivot by moving away from passive mentions of soft quarters, framing this instead as a massive 13,500 location counteroffensive against the retail supply chain.
Perfect.
And finally, deepen the critical analysis of the friction between the family-friendly aesthetics and the medical controversies, specifically interrogating the deliberate 80 milligram compromise.
Exact. Executing those three structural shifts transforms this from a competent wire report into a piece of sharp, culturally relevant journalism that speaks directly to its intended community.
Yeah, it really does. We want to thank the listener for submitting this piece and warmly invite you to submit your revised draft or any future material back in for another critique.
Yes, please do.
So the next time you picture that 2 a.m. glow of the Golden Arches, you won't just see a fast food run. You'll see the front lines of a multi-billion-dollar beverage war.